This is again a very important uh, lesson today, and there's a poem in class 10th, My Mother at 66. And you can see the picture of the uh, great poet Kamala Das here. So let's go to the introduction of this poem. Dear students, Kamala Das is also known as Kamala Suraya. She was born on 31st March 1934 in Malabar, Kerala. Okay. Okay, she's believed to be a great Indian English poet and a leading Malayalam author as well. Kamala Das was a sensitive writer who would capture the complex subtleties of human relationships in poetry. So, here, one of the best examples of this statement is My Mother at 66, right? So, what happens in this poem? The poet relates a personal experience. Dear students, she brings out a common paradox of human relationships and portrays a sensational separation of a mother and a daughter. She has been able to capture almost all the emotions which a daughter is filled with on bidding farewell to her beloved mother. Kamala Das, being a confessional poet, comes clear in describing her mother with the minutest details of her aging while narrating the journey in this poem from her parents' home to Cochin airport, right? So here we will go to the text of the poem. Okay, here again you can have the old face of her mother and here Kamala Das, right? Let us try to give a model reading recitation to this poem. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Dose, open mouthed, her face Asian like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, worn, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma, and and all I did was smile and smile and smile. So that was the recitation of the poem. Let's go to the very important area and where we will try to understand the poetic devices. This is one of the images taken from the poem, and I'll tell you what it is all about. So, first of all, let us see the similes in this poem. For example, the line, her face Asian like that of a corpse. So, what is there? In this simile, the poet emphasizes the weakness of her old mother. She expresses that her face was pale and grayish. It appears that she had lost all strength and vitality. The pale and grayish color of her mother's face is compared to the pale face of a dead body, right? For example, in another example, we have worn, pale as a late winter's moon. You can take this as the late winter's moon, right? So, in this line, the poet emphasizes the weakness of her old mother. She is pale and weak. She is as pale as a late winter's snow. Her pale and dull face is compared to the pale and dull color of the moon in winter. So there are two different implied meanings to this. Some say that even if the moon is winter's moon, but moon still looks beautiful. So in the eyes of Kamala Das, her mother has turned very old. There are those wrinkles on her face, but still she compares her with moon, so that can be that she still looks beautiful to her, and she is still beautiful at that very age as well. So, metaphors. For example, trees supprinting, right? Trees supprinting and married children stand for activity, vitality, youth, life, and growth, right? Childhood fear refers to the fear of separation from parents. So these are some of the metaphors where it is trees supprinting or children spilling out of their homes, right? So, what does this tell us? This suggests that she's also talking about activity, this busy life, youth, vitality, and yes, childhood fear that refers to that fear of separation, right? Then symbolism. We have some symbols in this poem, for example, this winter's moon. So, winter's moon is actually a symbol of decay, right? So, young children or youth, it represents life. It talks about courage, power, strength, vitality, and vigor. And then we have the concept of that old age, right? So, old age is also symbolic and it symbolizes pitiable conditions of humankind in old age, right? So, let's go to next. We have some more poetic devices here, right? For example, imagery. So in imagery, you have supprinting trees and merry children. In the previous slide, you saw those children laughing, and here again, supprinting trees. These are the trees when a car speeds here on is moving on this road, and these trees seem supprinting. What does that mean? So it suggests I will tell you out from the doors. We're talking about children spilling out from the doors, suggest fresh life, warm energy, vitality, youthfulness, spirit, etc. The poet draws this image to strike a scene of contrast. Here you have complete contrast with the pale, dull, and withered face of the mother at the declining stage of her age. So, on one side, she is showing this situation inside the car, and outside, she looks at these things. So, the big contrast so between the changing stages of age from youth, from childhood to old age. That's what she is trying to say. Okay, this it's just like this time is like an ice cream. It melts and we never know when it was finished. हमें लग रहा है कि कल के बच्चे हैं हम तो लेकिन पता ही नहीं चलता कब ये लाइफ खत्म हो गई. So personification, trees sprinting as if the merry children spilling. For example, in tree sprinting, the poet imagines the trees to be figures that are running alongside a car, as if these are people, they are running alongside the car, which actually is an illusion. We'll talk about that. Then, if we see the rhyme scheme, so what happens? The poet does not use any identifiable rhyme scheme in this poem. Even if you very clearly see at the poem, it is a long, it runs long sentences. It is flow of thoughts as if coming from Kamala Das. She thoughts are flowing out of her, and we don't see any stop. She wants to say so many things because she looks completely emotional, right? So let's go to the very important area